Hey, beautiful guys and girls. Today, I wanted to reflect. I've titled this video Unsolicited Healing because I wanted to kind of discuss and express about the unsolicited healing advice that some people want to give off, and make people aware that when you become like a practitioner of healing, and change and transformation, and bringing in to work with people a kind of vibration that is kind of to help them align and center themselves in different ways, like a healing energy. It's not always for us to go around forcing people into healing, because that becomes our agenda. Sometimes we're not actually looking at the fact that we're being kind of a bit selfish by, it's like, oh, you need to heal because I feel uncomfortable in your presence. But how about the fact that some people, their wounds and their negativity is actually serving them a greater understanding, a greater lesson? I'm sure all of you out there will vouch for the fact that any difficult time and dark period or whatever that you've been through has served you in some capacity and helped you to learn and grow and evolve, and made you really understand, like, okay, I'm never going to be going through that again. And it's made you who you are, so you wouldn't change it. And I think it's the same for when we have to be very careful about not sticking our nose in people's soul lessons, because at the end of the day, I believe it's a soul lesson that we're going through. Okay, fair enough, we want the world to be full of love and full of peace and harmony. We don't want war. I understand all of that. At the same time, though, there's a very thin line between offering someone healing and forcing healing upon them. And because the repercussion of forcing healing, when you think about the echo reverb of the universe, the reverberation of energy, of intention, it reverberates and resounds throughout the universe in like a circle. And if our intention somewhere, even if it's subconscious, if there's an intention of ego or like forcing someone into somewhere, it's going to come back to us. So it's like, unless somebody has sought us out for this healing or come into our energy space for that healing, we need to actually not force healing upon them. And that might be difficult for us, but then maybe it's a lesson for us that if we're constantly around this energy that we find uncomfortable, then maybe we need to be somewhere different or accept it. And that's a very hard pill for people to swallow. It's a big challenge, and we think it's their lesson and not ours. But actually, once again, we need to look in the mirror. So much of our perception is about the self and working on the self. Doesn't mean being self-obsessed. It just means like really being an example and really working things out within ourselves before we try to go out into the world and force other people into things. And this is the mastery, man. Like, this is self-mastery. We're not here to master other people, we're here to master ourselves. So we really need to be acknowledging the soul journey that we're on. And like, that's, some people don't even grasp that. They can be they can be the best healer in the world and they're still trying to force people into healing. Do you know what I mean? When we think about the nature of the world and life, and the universe, so much creation is formed through like catastrophic disasters, like chaos, and I'm not saying like, oh, it's good to have chaos, it's good to have darkness. Like, I'm not saying that, because ultimately I'm somebody, and I'm going to talk about this in another capacity where that served me, the darkness has served me, but at the same time, that's not my intention is to work for the light. So that is my intention. However, I'm not discarding what I've learned, because I wouldn't know that I want to go towards the light if I hadn't experienced darkness and pain and suffering. So I think that we have to be aware to not try to block other people's lessons and not be offering out unsolicited healing to people when just because actually it's like, oh, I'm a healer, I'm this great person, I'm such a enlightened person, I'm better than you. Because it does come into that sometimes, do you know what I mean? And we actually need to check ourselves. Like, I just find it quite amusing sometimes because there's levels to this stuff. Like, there's an understanding, there's a depth of understanding to this. So that's one thing. The other thing I wanted to talk about, aside from the unsolicited healing, is I believe we're in a time where we have to choose whether we work for the light or the dark. Nobody is perfect on this planet. We're all human, and it's okay to be human. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to feel negative emotions. Like, it's part of who we are. I think what it is like, don't stay in those spaces. Like, it's about being able to move through it, and ultimately, like, where your focus and goals are in the long run. Because if your focus and goals in the long run is to be angry, then maybe you're not working for the light. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, it's natural to feel like that, but understand that it's a lesson. What's it serving you? What's it bringing you to understand? How's it, helping your consciousness evolve in some ways? But it doesn't mean you seek that out and go towards it and want that and pursue it and see it as goal settings. Like, yeah, squad goals, like mess up someone's life. Like, no. You've got to decide what you choose to work for. So this is like a decree, a divine decree that I want everybody to do with me, right? And I've become very aware of that within myself, of dealing with some really dark, traumatic kind of experiences, and understanding that the cycles that I go through, the patterns that I'm helping to evolve, that there is a choice within that. As much as it feels like there's no choice, there is a choice. My soul knows there's a choice. So it's a decree, and it's a choice, it's a decision. Do you want to work for the light, or do you want to work for the dark? Who are you working for? What are you working for? Why are you working for? What, you have to choose. So maybe we can go into a quick meditative state. Let's try something. So close your eyes. Take some deep breaths. Breathe with me. I ask for the divine angels of love and God to come and work through me, work with me. I ask for the angels of love, light, peace and healing to bring in a divine protection in my mind, body, heart, soul and spirit. Surround my aura in golden light. Fill my center, my core, the essence of my being with golden light. I ground myself with roots growing out from my feet into the center of the earth, the light pouring into the center of the earth and reverberating back up into the soles of my feet, through my knees, through my whole core being, back into my third eye, into the top of my head to connect with God's source energy. And I decree my choice, my purpose, my being my core, my soul journey is to work for the light. I choose love, I choose light. I am here to work for the highest good of the love and the light energy on this planet, to divinely work in service. And I ask the angels of love, light, peace and truth and justice to acknowledge, co-create with me. I'm open to these angels to work with me, to bring in the love, light, peace and beauty in the earth, and allow my light to be an example to all others who may need to understand through my existence. I choose to work for the light. This is my purpose, and I'm divinely and sacredly protected in this purpose. I honor my soul journey, and I am so grateful to God. Thank you, God, for the lessons I experience to help me to open my soul purpose. I ask for every being of love and light and truth, the unicorns, the divine angels of love, the fire dragons, to come in, help me to transform and transmute all that does not serve me on this purpose, and I trust that thine will be done. I thank you, I work with you, I love you, and I send love, peace and healing to the universe in my divinely protected space. I am divine. Thank you. Trust that God is working through you, and trust that every experience you go through, there is a divine destiny to it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I ask you to please subscribe below to receive more beautiful content like this. 1212, y'all. Look below.